Good morning. Doing my pre-trip on my first load. This one's a heated load, so I got everything all hooked up and everything. I got here last night, actually, at the Manuka, where they dropped this one, and I'll be headed out. I wish I had been able to start on this load earlier in the day when it was assigned to me. It was like already kind of running late. So anyways, I'm going to take a picture of my seals, do my pre-trip, and get on down the road. So I'll check back in with you a little bit further in the way. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Logan. Bear's down here sleeping, and as you can see, my truck is a mess. And it's a mess because I didn't really have a chance to organize it and put things where they need to go. And so every time I need something, I have to rip everything apart just to find it. So I'm on a 34-hour reset. However, I'm under a load, and I did that because it made more sense for the days, not because I already needed a 34-hour reset. I can go into that a little bit later, maybe I will, but right now I'm going to try and figure out how to drain the air tanks. On the Freightliner, I knew how to open the little footstool down on the down there and do that, but on this I don't know. It's a little different, so I'm gonna figure that out, drain the air tanks. I gotta get on more of a regular basis with doing that. I mean, really, it's a good habit to have. I remember my pro maintenance classes saying they want you to do it like every day, I think, but at least every week. So I want to get on a better habit of doing that for my safety as well as the longevity of the truck. Also, I'm going to be just cleaning this shit up and organizing it. They don't have a laundry here, so I can't do laundry, but that's okay. I have like 2 months worth of clothes on here. So that's the plan today. Get this cleaned up, do a bit of a walk around, make sure everything's in place, and then tomorrow morning I'll be able to start driving. This load picked up at Decatur, the Decatur yard, yesterday actually, and it delivers Wednesday the 28th. So it picked up the 24th, it's due the 28th. It's really not a ton of miles. The hardest miles are going to be in Virginia in the mountains. You know what on a straight path would take 6 hours is going to take like 9 or 10 in those mountains. And it's my first time really going in the mountains as a tanker driver with a full load. Especially these ones. So I'm going to be going a little bit slower, and I'll go into why I took a 34 hours to give me more time to do that. I know, like, face value, it doesn't make sense, but considering how much time is on a load that only had maybe 600 miles altogether, it made sense. It was more wise choice. But I'm going to just finish waking up here and do the walk around and then get started on cleaning. I'm not going to put the cleaning part in there. No one wants to see that. Even though I watch that kind of stuff when it's posted, you know, in Relapse. But I just want to focus on getting as much done as possible, as soon as possible. So far though, I will say this. So far, this is my third load. And I'm really liking it so far. Definitely different with that surge. It's an interesting feeling. The entire ride, you're kind of doing kind of like this thing. You know, it's like pushing, it's just... And then when you go to stop and everything, you're just getting crashed into. It's very different. Also, maneuvering the trailer backing is taking me getting a little used to, because I'm used to having not only the tandem wheels to look at, but a giant wall to give me a better idea of my angle. You know, that's just how my brain processes it. Well, now, you know, there's my trailer's smaller, and so I'm having to reconfigure, and I don't have to turn as much because essentially the wheels are all the way back, and so it's kind of turns on a dime in a way, and it's 5 feet shorter. I believe it's 5 feet shorter, because this is, I think it's 48 and the reefer trailers are 53. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and do a walk around, and I'll see you back in the next clip. Everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Logan. That is Bear. This is the mess. I have 2 topics for this video, and I'll try and remember to put a minute marker here in case it's the other topic you're interested in hearing about. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the spill that I had. I wasn't able to get footage because everywhere I've been they don't allow any footage so far, but I do have pictures. And then I'm going to be talking about Bear because I think I'm going to have to rehome him, and I'm going to go into why that is. That'll be at the end. Okay, so about 2 loads ago, I was delivering some oil, and I think up to this point, I've only delivered oil, just different types. And this was, I believe it was soybean oil. And it was in New York, and I went to this place, and it was after hours. They have a third shift that works, but it was after their usual unloading hours, so the person that's normally there that does that isn't there. But they knew I was running late because, well... because when I got the pre-plan, it was already hours and hours late. There was no way I'd be able to make it on time, but I was able to get it there the same day. So I get there probably about 8:30 at night. I call the number I have, talk to the supervisor, and let him know I was there, but I can't see anyone around. And, if it's okay if I stay here for the night, if I have to wait till the morning, that's fine. But just so you know, I'm here. So he said, hey, I'll give you a call back. So he did, and he said that there was someone coming out that was going to help me unload. They normally don't do that, but they should be fine. And, I'm free to stay the night afterwards, all that kind of business. So the woman come out. I got everything all set up, and we were unloading. Everything was fine. Nothing was going off crazy. And then there was probably about 5,000 pounds worth of product left out of I think they ordered 47,000. So mostly done. And she come out, she says, hey, you got to stop it, the silo's full. So I stopped it, and she beckoned me over, and so I went and looked at the screen and stuff. And I said, well, is there another silo to go into it? Because you still have like a lot of product left. And she says, well, hold on, let me give someone a call. So she gave a supervisor or someone a call, someone who deals with that normally. And I don't know what they were saying because it was all in Spanish, but she would say something, he would say something, and then she'd push the little things on the screen. So he was directing her on how to get it to a different silo, the appropriate silo for this oil. So then she says, hey, it's all set up. Go ahead and start the pump. I said, okay, and the valve's open on your end? She says, the valve's open on my end. I said, okay. So I went out, started everything back up. All my valves are open, and I go slow. I always do because I'm new and I'm freaked out that if I just go full blast, it's just going to cause a catastrophe, right? And I'm sorry about that. My dog likes to play with bottles. So I have it going, and then I have my arm down and I'm watching it. I'm right there, I'm watching it. And so far, it seems okay. And you got to understand, this is like just a few short, probably not even 2 minutes. And it starts vibrating a little bit, but that seemed odd to me. So I'm like, oh, that seems odd. So as I'm bringing my hand up to the pump to put it on neutral and to check and make sure that the valve is open, it violently shakes, and then the tube just shoots off of there. Okay? I freak out. I'm turning stuff off. I'm turning their valve off, my valve off, everything. And then I run over and say, hey, there's a spill. You need to do whatever on your side. Call your people. I'm going to call mine. So we did that. And a couple people showed up in their cars, probably supervisors, just to supervise and report on it. I do what I have to do. That's why I have the pictures that have been showing. Not very many, but just to show the spill. I used the other hose, pumped off. There was another guy there who normally does it, so he helped her. And then I said, okay, the valve on your end is open, right? It's going to have somewhere to go. And he's like, yeah. And so we got it, everything else unloaded. Everything was cleaned up. Thankfully it's food grade side, and there actually wasn't a lot. He said, actually, this is a really small spill. And I was like, well, I was back here. I stopped it as soon as possible. He says, usually it's bigger. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I just felt so bad. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I at the time I was kind of just like in the moment that I wasn't thinking about why that happened exactly, right? He says, that's okay. That's why we have the spill kits out here. This actually happens a lot, and usually there's like way more product on the ground. He says, there's hardly nothing here. You're fine. So I get finished, close up for the night, whatever. The next day, I get up, I go, and I drive to wherever they have me go to clean out the trailer, and I get my next preload. But as I'm driving, here you go. Here you go. As I'm driving, I'm thinking about it, right? I'm like, everything was fine before. So obviously it had nowhere to go. Everything was opening and fine on my end. So I think that the lady who was, you know, doing the stuff, I think she thought it was open, but it wasn't. Because it had nowhere to go. The pressure built up very quickly and the hose came off. Because it was only shaking just a little bit, like just a little vibration, and it was very similar to how, like, when you first start it. But I was still like, it shouldn't be like that because there's already fluid in the tube and stuff. So, hey, don't mess with that. So, I realized that, you know, it wasn't really my fault. I'm glad that I like to follow directions, and I was right back there where I was supposed to be. It wasn't even on full blast. I had it maybe about halfway, you know. So I still feel bad, you know. They were really nice. They're awesome people. She gave me a piece of cake. That was really nice. I guess they had a birthday party or something. So sorry he's playing, but he's in a good mood. So I, you know, lesson learned, and I actually got to get the part cleaned out. I'm going to see about doing that here in a minute. Hopefully you can hear me. I don't like disrupting him when he's playing because, you know, that's good for him. So that was that. Sorry I don't have any footage of me doing anything. Again, all the places I've been, they're like no cameras out, obviously no video. It's not that this is just top secret. I just don't think they want that stuff out, and they don't want videos and stuff. So sorry about that. Hopefully I have some other shots of me soon, just some driving shots and everything. I got to get a new thing because the new truck, I don't have anything to put the GoPro on. So my next topic is about Bear. For those of you who check in on me on a regular basis, you know that my other dog passed away. I went about 10 weeks before I could get him home. And then by then I decided, well, I need to have an animal on here, right? And my original goal was to adopt a pet from my shelter, something that's at least a year old, you know, still kind of young, that I have many years with them, but out of their initial puppy phases where they're already potty trained, housebroken, and, you know, they know not to chew on me or the truck or anything like that. So it was a holiday weekend, Easter. Everything was closed, and I needed to leave by the time they did open, so I gave up on that. And if you already know this, sorry, but he's still biting really hard. None of the tricks, like the Cesar Millan thing, or yiping really loud or anything like that, stops him. He's not understanding it. But I think that's due to maybe he's frustrated. You know, he doesn't have a lot of room here, and I work 14 hours a day. I'm driving a lot, and then when I am not driving, I'm unloading the truck, and I have to be back there. So I ended up getting Bear Golden Doodle for $200. That's incredibly cheap. So I knew this wasn't a puppy mill. This wasn't someone who's just breeding them, trying to make a lot of money and stuff. You know, maybe this was their first time. They didn't have any of the shots done as well. Usually it's more expensive because they've done the shots and they want their money back for that. But cute dog. He's been great. He's a great dog. He really is. But I started feeling bad for him. I started feeling bad that he doesn't really have a lot of room, and he's getting big. I'm not able to train him properly and keep consistent on it because I'm either driving or, you know, I'm working, or I can walk him a bit and play with him a bit, and then I have to sleep. You know, it's not fair to him. So I've been reaching out to people, seeing if there's anyone that can take him. I about give up hope because I'm going to keep him on the truck until I can find someone for him, right? I don't want to put him in a shelter or anything. My sister-in-law is like, hey, are you okay with me making a post, see if anyone that I know is looking for a dog? And thankfully there was someone that is very interested. I talked to them today already, and I said, hey, everything sounded great. Talked to them. They had just lost their Golden Doodle a little while ago, and they loved them, and their other dog is feeling lonely without them, and they want another dog, and they were looking for this. So they usually foster animals too. So this was a good sign for me. I talked to her, and it's going to be great. I think Bear is going to do really well there. He's going to have a whole yard. They're in teachers and stuff, and so the husband, he's going to be on summer vacation. He's on summer vacation right now, and then she's a professor at one of the colleges. I'm not going to say which one. So I let them know when I'm going to be in town, and that I'd like to get Bear to them as soon as I get there, because I don't have a lot of days. That way they have a couple days to try him out, and if it doesn't work, they can get a hold of me, and I'll take him back and continue the search. That's where I'm at right now. It's not that I don't want him, I do. It makes me really sad to have to do this, but when you take on an animal, it's your responsibility to make sure that they're happy and healthy and they have the best environment. He does well on the truck otherwise, but I think that it's starting to show he's a little frustrated. When I do try to train, it's not sticking because he just wants to play now. And that's on me. That's my fault. That's not his fault. He's just a baby. You know what I mean? So I have a very good feeling about this. Eventually, I will get another dog, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to go with my original plan of adopting a dog out of a place that's already, potty trained and past those puppy stages and just needs a good home and out of the shelter. But it's going to be a little bit while longer. Now, Bear has been very healing for me. I've stated from the beginning, and it's still true, he was not here to replace Buddy. He was here as a new companion, and he has been that. And he is a good dog. And man, he just wants to play with everybody. He wants to meet everybody, every animal, everything. So he needs to have a place where he can do that. And this home is going to be it, I'm pretty sure. So I'll keep you posted on that. It's, the beginning of June? And I'm going to be seeing them next week. And so I'll update you on that. I feel really bad. I feel like a bad pet parent, but you have to do what's best for them. If it were best for me, I'd keep him. But he needs to be able to have that good foundation, or when he is fully grown, and he's going to get big. I just know it. I think he's going to be over 50 pounds. It's going to be really hard to handle. He's already getting hard to handle on the leash, and I don't even know how to do leash training, because any dog I've ever had has already been leash trained, because I adopt. So that's where I'm at. I'm under a load right now. It doesn't deliver until tomorrow at 1 p.m. So I'm finishing up a 34-hour reset. I got in last night, the Manuka yard, and I'm looking forward to doing this new load. I got to see about cleaning that part just in case I need it. And I already know what my next load's going to be. That's what's been neat about company side, is I'm not sitting here waiting for long, wondering where to go. You know, it's usually by the time I'm unloading, I'll start getting those pre-plans. Hey, this is where you're going to take the trailer to get washed out, and then this is your new pre-plan, you know. And most of the time I've been coming either to the Decatur yard or Manuka, and it'll already be here because they have to deal with the place. It'll already be here, and then I just hook to it and go. So it's been really nice. Tinker's been a lot of fun, so I look forward to more experiences with this, and hopefully no more spills. That freaked me out a bit. All right, well, thanks for checking in with me. I hope that you made it this far in the video. If you have any questions about Bear or anything like that, go ahead and put them down below. I don't think there's anything else, so I'm just going to edit it with this. Hopefully I can edit it down to where it's not this long, because I don't do really good long videos. So see you in the next one.